Welcome, friends, to the longest running poker space. I'm your host, Sherry Pluskota, and I'm happy you're joining me live or listening to my broadcast at a future time. And I thank you. Hey, Yvonne, how are you?
Hello, Sherry, John,
Oh,
and Matt. Can you hear me all? Yes.
yes, we can. And ASG is down there in the goo as well. How are
Oh,
you, my
hey,
friend?
very good. Thank you. I send all of you a big hug from Malta. Yeah,
Uh,
it's been a very busy year. It's fun.
it has been a busy year, and we're going to get to that in a minute. I need to do a little housekeeping, so bear with me for a minute. I've got a couple of announcements to make. Okay, love?
Absolutely, I'm here.
Thank you. Many thanks to my sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need a tailor made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can design that plan. Follow them on Twitter and check out their site at elevatorresultspt.com. You have to forgive me, y'all. I've been sick and kind of have some congestion, so breathing's not so easy right now. Also, a reminder you can find my recordings of my past spaces, including our daily WSOP coverage and daily WPT coverage, and all of the interviews on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. Also, just a little announcement. If you are listening today to this space, and then I'm going to do another space at 7:30 Eastern. That's just going to be a fun talk about anything space, including March Madness. At some time during each of those broadcasts, at two different times, I'm going to take a screenshot of everybody that's in those two different spaces, and those people are going to be entered into a drawing, and I'm giving away 1% of the main event seat that I won. I'm going next week to the Hard Rock in Cincinnati, to the Cincinnati Open, and I'm going to share, hopefully, my winnings with three listeners. You guys will share in 1% of my winnings. So we'll lean into those details in a few minutes. And first, we're going to welcome our guest. Ivonne is the founder of the Malta Poker Festival. She is a former WPA member, board member. She currently is still a member. Since our last interview, Ivonne has hit the ground running with the Sigma Poker Tour, as well as hosted, and we talked about it as an upcoming event the last time she was here. She hosted a series in her homeland of Costa Rica. I can't wait to hear all about that. Ivonne has a total live earnings on the Hendon Mob over 29,000, with her best live cash of 9,000 for her 10th place finish in the EPT $1,100 freeze out. I'm so happy my friend Yvonne is here to visit with us tonight. And Yvonne, you know I'm horrible with names, so I want you to pronounce your last name for our listeners, please.
My last name is Monte Alegre.
And you guys see why I didn't pronounce it, because you all know, my audience and listeners know I can't do it. No matter how hard I try, I can't do it, and I hate to botch names. It's horrible. But Yvonne, I'm so glad you joined us. I know
Oh, thank you
it's
very much for having
into
me.
the later of the night hours for you after a long day of work, so I appreciate that. Why don't you
Oh,
tell us about? Let's go into Costa Rica first. That was back in was it the end of February?
it was in January, end of
Uh,
January, first
End of
week of
January.
February. Yeah.
Perfect. Tell us how that went.
Well, that went amazing, better than expected. I mean, my
Awesome.
home country is beautiful, but there's been LAPTs there, which is like the Latin American version of an EPT by
Okay.
Poker Stars. So the LAPT was in Costa Rica at some point. They were at the beach, but the hotel became so expensive that it was $400 a night for a player to stay here. So it was impossible to have that event anymore.
All right.
And I found a lot of problems with the location, and I've been trying and trying for like a decade to bring a good tournament to Costa Rica. And finally, this year I managed, and it was so full of my DNA, this one, because we even went with my husband to like a dungeon of an old casino to get some really old tables and refurbish them. And you, so it was, yeah, it was like grassroots. And I was very nervous that players were not going to show up, and they did. And I'm so grateful for that. We had players from USA, from all Latin America, and we had a lot of players um, from Europe.
I
So
love it.
it was a beautiful event. Everybody was
Kudos to you, Yvonne.
in such a great mood. And what I am most proud of is that we managed to tip the dealers and the floor after exhausting grilling days. We managed to give them a pretty good tip, I think. So that's
Awesome.
pretty exciting because we do things a little bit more like American way. In Costa
Right,
Rica, we tip dealers. In Europe, people are a little bit stingy. I don't know
right.
why, it's the culture, but Americans tip so handsomely, and I love you guys so much for that. Because, I mean, me as a player too, you win a couple of $1,000, what's $100 for the dealers, you know? But in Europe, sometimes they win tens of thousands, hundreds, and they don't tip anything.
Ay, ay,
So,
ay.
yeah, so
That's
you know
kind of a
that.
tricky situation, isn't it? Because when you're attracting players from both Europe and the United States, you have to find a balance there. And that's tricky.
Very tricky. And yeah, you can't force players, and some players that do this for a living. For example, the perfect example is my husband and me. I'm a total recreational player. So when I win, I've had a few drinks, I tip more than 20%. And he tells me, Yvonne, like this, you're never going to make money in poker. And I tell him, well, that's why I'm not a professional player, because for me, it's a recreational thing, right?
Right.
Professional in the back end, but not a player. So yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. We cannot, you know, put higher fees or something like that. But I want everybody to be conscious that sometimes players ask and ask for things, and free this, lower rate, this and that. And in the end, the dealers work overtime most of the times. And it's important to tip them because it keeps the game ecosystem
Well,
healthy.
and it keeps the dealers coming back, right? Because you need the dealers as well.
Yeah, if there's no dealers, there's no game. And we tend to forget that. Um,
Absolutely. So, do you see doing that series again anytime soon, or waiting till next year, or what do you think?
Absolutely. Same dates. We'll be hosting Costa Rica Poker Festival. Same dates, end of January. And mark it on your calendars, Americans, because we're going to have much more qualifiers online. And the tickets are really inexpensive to fly to Costa Rica from Texas, Houston, from Miami, from Las Vegas, from all of the big American hubs. You have very affordable tickets. So,
Right.
and the vibe there, everyone was giving me great feedback that they felt relaxed just being there, that everybody was so friendly, the food was amazing. There was a lot of community stuff. We were going out every night to the different restaurants of the area that are super amazing and delicious. The food is very special in my country. The products are, it's, you know, in the mornings, the breakfast, you have a mango juice with proper mangoes that are melting in your mouth, you know, papaya, things that are very, very tropical, very fresh. So the breakfasts were amazing. Everybody was in a very good holiday mood. So the games
Awesome.
were very cheerful, very
Awesome. And
cheerful.
tell me, did you guys do any excursions besides eating out at local restaurants?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us some
Two
about
days.
those.
Yes, 2 days. I declared like off-belt activities. So you, if you want a package, you were able to choose between whitewater rafting, zip lining, volcano, spa, golf. I mean, we spoiled them with choice. They had to wake up early. That's one thing, 6 a.m., amigos. But
I
I
love it.
heard from all the grumpy cats that were complaining about the early rise that it was totally worth it. And when I
Awesome.
saw some pictures of these Norwegians, all red from the sun, doing whitewater rafting with those faces of thrill, and of I'm gonna die, it was really fun to see that they
That's
had such
awesome.
an amazing time.
And that's one
So
thing
it
I've
was really well
noticed.
worth it.
I've noticed with things that you host, the series you host, you always like to have that component of excursions. And I think that means a lot to the entire experience since most people are traveling a long way to come to your series. And I'm a firm believer if I'm traveling somewhere, not only do I want to play poker, but I want to do something in this city that maybe I've never been to before outside of the poker room. So I love that you focus on that component as well.
Yes, that's very important in the tournaments that I create, because ultimately I create them based on my experience as a player. And there's many kinds of players, recreational, professional, but I am a recreational player and I only go to places where busting is enjoyable in a way. There are some
Right.
locations that all you have is a casino in the middle of nowhere, and I find that very, very boring. So
Tunica,
I
but I didn't say that out loud. Uh, I just came from a place that the casinos are literally in the middle of a field, and it's probably 20 miles until there's something that you would even consider going to see.
yeah.
So, it is about the experience for sure. And, sometimes we all just need something different than just playing poker, for a mental break. So I really appreciate that you focus on activities off the felt. Now let's talk about the Malta Poker Festival that's coming up April 27th through May the 5th. What do you want to tell us about it?
Well, I want to tell you that if you have some time off this spring, come over to Malta. Malta is a cultural gem. Anyone that is remotely interested in traveling or learning about new cultures, new experiences, this place is amazing. The other day, they asked me, Yvonne, what is your favorite place to play poker in the world? And I kid you not, it's my hometown in Malta. Porto Maso Casino, I find it so enjoyable. You have restaurants, you walk out of the casino and you see this beautiful turquoise sea, the Mediterranean Sea. Everybody's taking it easy. You immediately feel you are on a holiday mode. The
I
Maltese
love
are
that.
very, very friendly people.
Love that.
And cultural wise, it's a super experience. We have one, imagine that for the Malta Poker Festival, this spring, I'm giving all players that want to join the free pass to go on a rooftop bus. And then this tour that we have on the rooftop bus, it has been completely curated by myself, and I think it in 2.5 hours, 3 hours, you see, wow, Valletta, which is a UNESCO declared site. Valletta is the capital of Malta, and Valletta is something else, guys. They have filmed Game of Thrones there. They have filmed the Count of Monte Cristo with Leonardo DiCaprio there. Brad Pitt and Angelina did By the Sea in Gozo, which is an island nearby. I mean, it's full, full, full of surprises. Of course, Gladiator, for those Gladiator fans, die-hard fans. All
Right?
the crowd, yes. So it's a backdrop for the most amazing movies. So imagine, it is an incredible place. And also, I've discovered that Malta is high energy vibration place. So, I mean, that's why I haven't left. I love Costa Rica, but I love it here too.
Oh, I love that so much. Do you want to tell us? I know it's kind of early, but do you have anything you want to highlight about the schedule for your Malta Poker Festival. I'm sure there's a ladies' event. Do you have any highlights in the schedule you'd like to mention?
Oh, yes. I mean, and it's not so early. It's now in April. So, yeah, I'd love to highlight the tag team. Is the first time we're doing a tag team on Friday night. And as well, with the tag team, you can see that we're a lot about the fun. Eh, Actually, tag team is not so convenient for the casino and to make it really profitable because you're cutting your rake and your profits in half. But we want we want the community, we want the fun, we care more that our players are having a balanced experience than really really profiting from the tournaments. So there's the team Roberts, which is our dear Lisa Renko Roberts and Scott
Love her
Roberts.
and her husband Scott. Love them.
Yes, they are hosting the tag team Friday at 6 p.m. and that one's gonna be a lot of fun. Then there's the ladies event hosted by Tanya Masters. She's the Irish ambassador of poker. And I think Tanya will do a fantastic job making sure the ladies are having a great time. We have
She
a
always
mystery
looks like she's
bounty.
having a fun time, I might add.
Oh, yes. She's Irish. I've never seen an Irish not having a good time,
Amen,
honestly.
sister. Could not agree
Yes, they
more.
do know how to have fun. And yeah, she's an amazing ambassador for the game, for women in poker. She's doing great things. And I chose her as our host, and I think it's going to be super fun.
Love
Then we
that.
also have a seniors event on Sunday, and we have the Hand on Mob Championship in Malta as well. We have a high roller. I mean, it's such a side event packed festival that it's even an argument with the casino because they tell me, Yvonne, you can't have 6 tournaments a day. You can't. And I say, well, we will.
Watch me.
We will,
You're
because
so funny.
it makes it a lot of fun. And don't get me started with mixed games. I mean, one time we had Jean David, and she
Oh, yeah,
she
she's awesome.
really was amazing with the horse and all the mixed games. I would love to do more, but unfortunately I only have 7 days.
Right,
But
right.
we do have a horse event. Oh, and a Sviten also. We have a Sviten event. But this spring, during the Malta Poker Festival, we have the first ever in Malta Poker News Championship. And it's a
Oh,
2 day event.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a 2 day event. Expect a lot of the Poker News ambassadors to be at the tables having fun. And that one is 170 euros. And if you see our series, the MPF, can be played with a couple of $1,000. You play a lot of events. So I am very proud of that we've kept the 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 buying range really really low as possible. The high roller is 1,000, but you can find a lot of 200, 150. the
I
the
love that.
satellites the satellites are 65 euro. I mean, so anyone can play.
I love that. I love that so much. I want to talk to you about your tag team event for a minute. Because everybody kind of does their has their own way of doing a tag team event. So how are you going to do yours? Is do both of the members of the tag team start out the tournament together, or are they swapping out right from the start on the same stack? How are you doing your tag team event?
Well, what I also love about MPF is that I delegate a lot on my hosts. I make the event for them, and then I believe completely in their vision for the event. So Scott and Lisa have sent the structure themselves, and they have green light to be the ultimate voice on that. And they are doing it like this. It's tag. So it's one place, the other one sits down. One place, the other one sits down.
Okay,
I think
cool.
it's one level each. But yeah, it has some particularities, the game. It's quite fun. Scott sent the structure already, and we'll upload it on the site very soon. But yeah,
Awesome.
that was Tim Roberts was the one that chose exactly how we're gonna play this, and I'm very happy about that.
I love that. And forgive me for coughing. It's probably going to happen often because I've just have been not feeling good the last couple of days. So I'm sorry. I tried to
Oh,
shut my
I'm
mic
sorry to
off. It
hear.
just didn't work. I see. I
No,
need to give a
don't
little
worry about
shout.
it.
Thanks. I need to give a little shout out to my tag team partner from last week, Michael down there in the goo. And I actually came in fifth place out of 87 teams at the Run
Oh
Good
wow.
series in Tunica last week. So little
Oh,
shout
nice,
out to my tag team partner down there. Yvonne,
nice.
tell is there anything else you want to mention about the Malta Poker Festival before I move on?
Mm, well, we have live satellites, I mean, online satellites going at the iPoker network, which is Betson, Coolbet, Gots, Nerdic Bet, Fortuna Poker. And we also have satellites running at Unibet. So we are almost everywhere. And this makes me really, really happy that the list of online qualifiers is huge this year.
That's awesome. Great opportunity.
Yes. And I
Very
think
good.
we're keeping the core values of the MPF, the Malta Poker Festival, and I'm very happy with that baby. That baby is running now, and I'm super happy to see it after 5 years develop into such a strong project with a big ethos. Um, the things that happen backstage in a locality like Malta, near Sicily, near Italy, it's complicated, and
Right.
we try to navigate it with a strong ethos. Keeping a good balance between what's good for the players, what's good for the dealers, what's good for the casino, what's good for me as the overall founder and organizer. Um, so
Good
with
for
that in
you,
mind,
Yvonne.
I think we are doing a good job, because sometimes you see events that they are very casino oriented because the casino has the biggest stake on it,
Right.
or some others that are too how can you call this, too dreamy. They just try to do mixed games, for example, and the price pools are very low, the numbers are low. So you have to have a balance, right? You have to have a
Right.
business mind, but also keeping a little bit the ethos of why we're doing this. And in that sense, I'd love to believe that I am the how do you call this thing in English, the soul animal, or the how is it that you call this?
The,
The animal
the,
soul of,
you're
I
the
don't know.
soul of the whole operation.
Well, the animal soul, I would say. But yes, something like that. Um,
Well,
spirit
kudos to you. You've
animal.
worked
The
hard to get it to this
spirit
point,
animal.
Yvonne.
It's
Say it
called
again.
the spirit animal.
Oh, the spirit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I have that because at this point in my life, I think I care about a lot of other things, right? I mean, I care about integrity more, definitely. As we grow older, we know what is really valuable in life. And I have children, and I have a legacy to give these children. So I am happy with those decisions.
Well, kudos to you. You've worked long and hard to get to where you are today. And
No,
I
thank
know
you.
that you're quite welcome. For those of you that are listening, if you want to come on up and ask Yvonne any questions or make any comments, please press that request button in the bottom left hand corner and we'll get you up here on the panel. Until then, I'm going to move on to your new association with the Sigma Poker Tour. And you have stops coming up in Monte Carlo and Brazil. So give us some info and some insight on both of those.
Yes. We're having Sao Paulo, Brazil, and Malta. But the club in Sao Paulo is called Monte Carlo. So that's,
Oh, got
listen,
it. I thought it was okay. Got it. Thank you.
no problem. Listen, with Malta Poker Festival is rolling well. and I didn't believe I was going to start from zero again, something. And I am doing it because the Sigma group is impressive. My team members, shout out to all the Sigma squad, are just amazing people. It's an amazing company full of young, tech savvy kids, and they're all there wanting to succeed in poker, meaning they want the poker vertical to succeed. Sigma is a business to business operation. What they do is gaming conferences all over the world. We have offices everywhere: Manila, um, Doha, India, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Malta, Sri Lanka, Budapest, Vegas is going to open soon, and so on. So with that in mind, it's such a global company. So they wanted to do a tour that followed their summits. And here I am doing it for them. And the possibilities with Sigma are incredible. One of the things that really convinced me into taking this second job um, was that the Sigma Poker Tour is tied up with the Sigma Foundation. So the Sigma Foundation raises a lot of money for incredible projects all over the countries where we go. So in Sao Paulo, we are building an MMA mixed martial arts center for youth in trouble, for vulnerable youth. So
I
instead of being
love
in the
that.
favela, instead of being in the favela hustling money with drug deals and all that, they're training to become mixed martial art professionals. And this is life changing for anyone that is in risk of taking bad steps in their life, especially as a young man or woman. We've got this solution, which is we have joined forces with Centurion Fighting, that is a massive MMA series, and they are training to be professional mixed martial art fighters. And this is just, I fell in love with this. I was not following mixed martial arts, but 7 years ago I went to a fight and I loved it so much. I am such a fan now. I find them so, I am so passionate about it because it's so excited to see them.
And I'm just
And
the opposite, but I love the plan of action for getting kids off the street.
yes, that, I mean, and this is one of the projects, right? In We were just in Ethiopia. Sigma Group was in Ethiopia, and they built a community for women that needed shelter from misogynic things that are happening in Ethiopia, which is domestic violence, normalized misogyny, and normalized domestic violence against women, and so on. So it's not only MMA, it's in every town we're doing innovative things through the Sigma Foundation
Love it.
that that raises money through arts, poker, etc., etc. So this is something that makes me really, really proud of the group I am with and of the core values that we are trying to transmit, even in something that might seem trivial like poker. There's always a silver lining, and there's always a way to do better.
Absolutely. Cannot agree more. And there's always a way to get involved with the community.
Exactly.
I
And it
love
doesn't
that.
matter how big or little. I mean, I remember that just recently we did a little fundraising, but it was not too much. And the only thing that we could buy were like the styrofoam packing for some organization for poker gives to pack the food because they didn't have the packing.
Right.
And then I sent the donation and I thought, I'm embarrassed a little bit, that is so little. But then I thought, and they contacted me and they said, thank you. The packing was life changing. You know, we were able to accomplish our goal. So sometimes we think that, you know, $50, $100 is very little and we shouldn't do it, but it really makes a difference. Every
Every
little
penny
helps.
matters. Every penny
Yes,
matters. No matter how big or small, You give what you can give because it all adds up to good stuff happening for sure. Now, tell us what kind of
Exactly.
event you're going to have in Brazil. Anything that's, you're going to try out new or different? Is there going to be a ladies' event? Tell me about it.
Yes, first of all, we're going to have the first ever Latin American Championship, the Hendon Mob Latin American Championship. And the Hendon Mob is creating a special online flag for the winner of this event. And the winner of this event also gets a package added to go to Cape Town, and it's going to be a super event. We're gonna live stream all the final tables, so that should be also a lot of fun for you guys to watch at home. I hope you help me distribute the link so that people can have some fun watching this.
Absolutely.
And of course, there's going to be a ladies' event called Sigma Divas, which comes from the idea that there was already a Divas event in this club. So we are, instead of changing the formula, we're joining them.
Love it.
So we are acknowledging the community and saying, hey, we respect what you had, and we are going to just join in with you. We're going to make it double better. So we're going to make it double attendance. We're going to increase your numbers, but we're going to respect the way you were doing it. So that's also exciting. We're going to have a ladies event. We're going to have a Sigma Bounty event. We have 250K. And the best thing of them all, I see Maureen listening to us. Hello, Maureen.
Hello,
Maureen is a
Maureen.
confirmed attendant, and this she's gonna love. And I love everybody. Look at this, Sherry. My partner, the Monte Carlo Club, is giving poker players 24/7 open bar and open food. So basically, I'm not even gonna eat
Nice.
at the hotel. And listen, these guys are special. Like the way they set up their spreads, I thought I was like at a wedding, at one of these my big fat Greek weddings, like my big fat Brazilian wedding,
I
because it
love
was,
it.
yeah, this is so funny. At some point, I'm so hungry, because I'm seeing all the meat. I'm playing poker, and a dealer tells me ribeye, and I say no, picanha, please. And he was asking me about the chips, ribeye chips, and I thought it was ribeye steak because I was so hypnotized with the delicious things
I love
around
it.
me. So you have 24/7 food and 24/7 drink, and the whole atmosphere is going to be electric in this club. Imagine that on this club there's a lift to go through all the a lift is an elevator,
Right.
the British state lift, I'm sorry. So an elevator goes to all the 4 floors of this casino, and this elevator is so big that it has a DJ inside the elevator.
Oh my God.
So it's like, yeah, this place is designed for fun, designed for entertainment, designed for fun. I hope Maureen gives us a lot of updates and nice coverage, because I really, really think we need to show the world about this, and just keep growing it and making it bigger.
I love that. And the dates for that are April the 9th through the 14th. And that is tell us the name of the casino and the city again, Yvonne.
Yeah, the name of the casino is Monte Carlo Poker Club, and the city is Sao Paulo. We are staying at the Hilton Morumbi in Sao Paulo. That's where our package is. And we are giving transfers from the Hilton to the club at all times to all the package holders. We're treating everyone as a total VIP. So it's
And
very, very fun.
if somebody wanted a package, how do they go about getting that package booked for themselves?
Well, you can contact me on X or on Instagram or on Facebook, and I'll send you the link to this package purchase.
Perfect. Perfect. Tell us, I want to switch gears for just a minute. Um,
Yes.
as an operator, this has kind of been a hot topic in spaces and around our southern poker area. As an operator, do you think somebody rebuying 35 times into a $400 tournament is good for the game?
No, and for example, in the Malta Poker Festival, I only allow two re-entries per day.
I love that.
Even though, look, we are losing money. We have players that are telling us, Yvonne, can I do my third rebuy? Please, please, please. This is not normal. In some other tournaments, it's unlimited. This, no. We definitely don't stand by that. We think a player needs to chill out and cool down. And normally, you know what happens? Normally, when you see this kind of player that has rebought 10 times, normally they're also aggro on the tables. They're not in a good mood because, I mean, this point can be debatable. I mean, if you're a super pro and you made whatever a Triton cash of 100K, why not spend 10K on the tournament you want? I mean, who are we to put a limit? But most of the times these crazy rebuy players are not playing right and are disturbing the whole environment. So I would think that you have to cross reference the behavior of the player a little bit with the rebuys, and you have to put a stop to this. And organizers and tournament directors have the right to stop someone from re-entering if they're, for example, drinking too much, or
Right,
you know
right.
I
And I
don't
could,
think it's responsible. I've talked to people that even forgot they re-entered because they were so drunk. And I think,
right,
how did the
right.
casino let you do this? This is not good.
Well, and
So I
I appreciate your point of view on this because the one gentleman, and he's actually going to be my guest next week. The one gentleman that that has everybody buzzing about this topic, um, was going all in blind every hand, and to me that
sorry.
just ruins the experience for the other people at the table.
Exactly. It ruins it for all the other people at the table completely. And yeah, that's a bingo game. And we need to keep the ethos of poker a little bit. And
Right, and I think the poker world really needs to address this and come up with a number of and they can do it. All they have to do is look at all their, their records, and they can figure out the average amount of rebuys, right? And
that's what I did with the Malta Poker Festival.
there you go. It
That's
certainly isn't
exactly our
35.
procedure.
Right.
And it gave us a number two. There was
Exactly.
like a super small percentage of people playing a third reentry, and the ones that played more than three were definitely problematic players.
Right.
So
And I
these
think they can
games,
look at that data and say, okay, let's limit it to even six,
yeah,
but they can look at that data because the amount of people that are buying in more than even three times, I don't believe is that great. I refuse to believe it's great, that great in comparison to the entire body of people playing that tournament.
I
So I
mean,
think that number is easy to come up with.
let's also keep in mind more factors, right? I am a big promoter of not making the game more complicated than what it should be. Not as an organizer, not as a player, etc. So also, if the tournament is very low, it's $100 buy-in, you can let people re-enter more. That's fine. But you have to balance it out with when you cut the late registration to that tournament as well, and how you
Agree.
enter on a re-entry with how what is your chip stack. So it's all this trifecta: chip stack, late reg, buy-in amount, and also a problematic behavior that we can see. So I think, yes, I think you have a very good point, but I would also like to keep a little bit open minded because when we make the game too strict and complicated, it's also not so good.
And I totally agree, but I think that the number cannot be allowed to be run up to 35. I just,
Oh,
that,
yes. No, no, that's
there just has
ridiculous.
to be some, even if it's
That's
12. It just can't
That's
be 35.
ridiculous because it's more than two re-entries per level, almost. Let's say
Right.
late registration is until level 10. It's three entries per level. That's ridiculous. That's
It's insane.
absolutely insane.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
wild.
Oh, yeah, it is wild. And like I said, it's a little bit of a hot topic that all of us just keep kicking around. And, it's about, as you and everyone in this space, we want the game to be good for everybody. We want everybody to enjoy it. We don't want people to buy the championship, Earn your way just like
Mhm.
everyone else. Just because you can rebuy 400 times doesn't mean that you should or you should be allowed to.
Exactly.
We had to kind of even that playing field out some for those that can't. I mean, if I was at that table where the guy was rebuying that many times, what if it was my first time in a tournament somewhere? Do you think I would ever come back? I would never go back. It would be such a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You have a very valid point here.
I just
I
don't
have
think
a
it's good for the game.
mhm.
Go ahead, dear.
No, it's not good for the game. I also have a similar stand to doing chops of more than 10 people. That's kind of ridiculous too. I mean, even though the
Okay, I'm going to tell
structure,
you.
let's say,
I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you the one exception to that rule for me is the
yeah.
South Point tournaments, because the South Point has a whole different, like, it's just a whole different community playing at that South Point. And their theory is we are all locals here. And if we split between the 17 of us, that gives all of us 10 rebuys to use the next 2 weeks. So they're really coming
Good
together as a
Lord.
community and saying,
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? Oh, this is
Yes,
good
but
for
then that's
all of
another
us.
game. That's another game completely.
You
That's
see
not
what
a
I'm
game
saying?
of skill. That's a game of a repartition of wealth. I mean,
Right. And I think they had 22 or 21, I don't even remember, 19 or something, like 2 years ago. And I play there often, and I've talked to some of the regulars that are there, and they're like, look, all of us just want to make money so we could come back tomorrow and play. I mean, that is their whole attitude. And the more that can make that money to come back tomorrow, the happier they are as locals. And how can you be mad at that theory? Like, I love that.
yeah, I see there's a point to that, but
Right.
I that's wow, that's stretching it a lot.
And how many times do you hear a poker player not being stingy and wanting just, no team, no chop, and just take it all? And who cares
Yes.
about the people I play with every day? So
Yes,
it's
that's
kind
a
of a,
very sweet.
yeah, it's kind of a nice twist to it for a change, honestly.
Yes,
I see
absolutely.
Matt was trying to get up here. I don't know if he's having an issue um, or not, but Matt, go ahead and request if you want to. Um, I sent you a mic, but you may be having technical issues. And if you are, I'm sorry, because you are certainly more than welcome to come on up here and enjoy Yvonne's conversation with us. And thanks to Maureen for posting the Sigma Tour, Poker Tour, uh, the Brazil link in our chat. So anybody interested can click on
Thank you,
that link.
Maureen.
Appreciate you, Maureen. Um, and again, if anybody has any questions or comments for Yvonne, come on up. Yvonne, let's go back to that Brazil
Yes,
stop. Do you guys have any
yes.
off the felt things planned? I don't think I
Oh
asked you that.
yeah. I mean, no, the Brazil stuff is crazy. Once you buy the ticket, 1 week before the event, you'll start receiving these emails where we are inviting you to first an MMA fight. Then there's cocktail drinks. There's the Sigma conference that you can enter with the poker ticket. There's a poker panel where we're going to discuss poker in Brazil with even local authorities in the Transamerica Conference Center. And poker players are invited to everything.
I love that.
So yeah, it's a
Absolutely
very
love that.
complete off the felt. It's the biggest off the felt I've done for any tournament, the
That's
Sigma Poker
awesome.
Tour. I mean, it includes an MMA fight. This is how great it is. So we are expecting and hoping that the players will really, really mingle and have a really, really fun time.
That's awesome. I'm sorry, Matt. I see you're trying to get back up here on the stage. It doesn't seem to be working, and I'm sorry, pal. I'm not sure what the issue is with Twitter. Maybe go back out and come back into the space is the only thing I can recommend, my friend. And I'm sorry you're having a difficult time with that for sure. Um, Yvonne, what else is going on in your life besides all these festivals? What else is going on? What else you want to tell us about?
Not really anything else. Like I'm really focused. This 2025 caught me launching new events. So I'm busier than ever. Sigma has me really busy, but I am very happy and very, very chilled. I wish I could play more poker, but I guess this is not the year. But I hope that soon I can transition into more of a player to enjoy all these tournaments.
Well, just as an outsider looking in, I don't see that happening for a while just because of all the stuff you're involved with, Yvonne. I'm sorry, my friend.
Come on, Sherry.
I mean, you could
Yeah,
sneak away and come join me over here in the States for a week or two, and we'll sneak you around so nobody knows you're
listen.
even here.
Listen, it really, I have a few bucket list tournaments that I really want to play. For example, I think I'm going to sneak out for the World Series. I don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm supposed to be in Manila negotiating with the local authorities into how to create a poker tour for them. But yeah, I'll try my best to sneak out for that one.
Well, I hope you do. And for some of you in the audience, you may or may not know that Yvonne was actually at my the first meetup game I hosted at the Aria. She came and joined us. So hopefully you're going to be in Vegas when I'm doing one this summer, and you can join us
Oh.
again.
Yes, I would love that. And that meetup game, I don't know, I was so shy, I think, and I was like a little bit intimidated, but and that also surprises me, right? That when you're traveling alone, it's a little bit hard. Now I know more people and I
Right.
feel a little bit more confident, but also being part of the poker community is lovely because you all treat us like friends, friends. We're looking after each other's safety. I mean, all of my even leisure travel has to do with poker nowadays. So it's just really lovely to be part of that community and feel so welcome.
Well, and I'm glad you joined us, and I was ecstatic that I got to watch Elvis marry you that that trip, and
Oh
that was an
yes.
unexpected pleasure, and I was able to check that off my bucket list. Watching Elvis marry somebody in Vegas at the Little White Chapel, it was amazing, and happy belated anniversary, by the way.
Thank you so much.
You
Yes,
bet.
it was a very sweet memory.
It
That's
was
exactly what I wanted because this is not my first rodeo.
it was awesome. It was so awesome.
so
All right, I
so I
see that.
wanted
Oh,
a
go ahead.
very chilled thing.
And it was amazing. It's a memory
Mhm.
I'm going to cherish for the rest of my life. Believe me,
Oh,
it was awesome. And I see Matt has gotten up here on stage with us. So Matt, welcome, and go ahead with your questions or comments with Yvonne.
Oh, thank you, Sherry. Hello to you and Yvonne as well. Lovely speaking with you. How are you doing here? Are you keeping well?
yes, thank you, Matt. All good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yes, not too bad. Best wishes with your future tournaments as well coming up. Are you planning on hosting any poker tournaments over here in the United Kingdom?
Aha, that's a very interesting question. And as a matter of a fact, I spoke with someone today and they're really adamant that I do. But I don't think this year, but I think 2026 will bring us some interesting stuff in my beloved UK. I love the UK. Listen, I had this image a long time ago that British people are cold and oh my god, I couldn't be more in the wrong. I've found that the British are so adorable. All my clients, they bring me something all the time, a little bag of tea. They are so warm, the British, that I totally see it. And one of my favorite places to play as well is London. I love playing in London. I get great results every time I'm in London. So I have a special place in my heart for you guys. So I am thinking about it. It's a matter of what happens with me a little bit is that I also have three small children, and I really don't want to miss out on them. They are growing so fast. So I have to really, really balance well my projects. But yes, there I was speaking with someone today actually about this, and it might become a reality.
Look at there. Matt's doubled down the hot news of the day. Good job, Matt. Go ahead, buddy.
Thanks, Sherry. It was a little bit unexpected. It just came out of the blue. I thought, well, you know what? May as well ask it. Why not?
I love
Why
that.
not? So, anyway, Yvonne, just out of interest, I
Yes.
see that you're also an entrepreneur, which is amazing. So I've always wanted to either meet an entrepreneur, work with an entrepreneur in the future. So, how did becoming an entrepreneur come about?
Well, I think I'm too rebellious to be subjected to someone else. I'm impressed that I am at this age in Sigma because it's been so long since I don't work for anybody. So I always take my risks. And now with Costa Rica, I took a big risk. And I was so proud of myself because I thought, if I don't gamble on myself, if I don't believe in myself, who's going to believe in me? An investor. And it's the first time I had my money to be my own investor. And I didn't even have to raise capital. I did it on my own. And it paid off, and it tipped people like I wanted to tip them, not like my investors wouldn't allow me to tip them. Because I also believe, that look what happened with Malta Poker Festival. With Malta Poker Festival during the pandemic, we got a loan to pay the dealers, and people were telling me, "You are crazy. This is unsustainable." Yada yada yada. And then what happened? That the next year, when we were open for business, we had zero money for marketing, and our best marketing were the dealers. So it paid off. I mean, it's just a little bit of it takes a little bit of courage. So I think I am a courageous person, and I think that's what drives me to entrepreneurship. The fact that yes, I am very rebellious and very energetic. I think my energy now is going a little bit down. I'm more calm and trying to take things a little bit more paced, but I do have some uh, personality traits that make me an entrepreneur. And it's not easy. It's definitely not the easiest road. Now, also that I'm experiencing being an employed person and getting a pay slip every month, I'm like, wow, you get holidays and you get paid for holidays. I've never experienced this. When I had my children, the next day I was doing customer support. I didn't have this maternity leave. What? No, no. So it's also, I mean, it's also an interesting side of the book.
Absolutely. Any other questions or comments, Matt?
After my busy day, my questions. I don't know how I got them out there because I've been absolutely tired out. But no, that was interesting, Yvonne, and I do admire you for that because it is hard being when you're having that sort of, if you like, work life balance between family and work. Because I've been in that position when I've worked in retail when I was caring for my parents. You had to sort of balance your hours out between the caring as well. So I can totally get you.
Yes, it's a leap of faith sometimes, and yes, and it depends on where you are standing in your life as well. I mean, not everybody can have the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, unfortunately. But those who do, you have to be really, really strong and stand against adversity, and sometimes lose it all. I've lost it all, but I've made it all back.
Good for you, Yvonne. Those are great questions, Matt, and comments. Thank you so much. Well, Yvonne, I'm not going to keep you any longer, but I do want to tie up a couple of things about the 1% I'm giving away. So it's up to you if you want to stay or if you want to leave, Yvonne. I don't like to keep you. I know you're busy and it's already 9 o'clock your time at night, and you have a family waiting on you. So you can stay with us or you can go ahead and jump off if you want, Yvonne. I appreciate you and your
Oh, of
time.
course, I'll stay with you. I'll say
Well,
bye
love
bye
you.
to all of you, but I am here. I'll be listening to your promotions, and your voice is so soothing. So I'm staying on. So,
Well,
everybody, thank you so much for your questions and for listening. Reach out. Feel free to reach out to my Facebook, my Instagram, my X, and I'll reply to you with the latest of our tournaments.
awesome. I appreciate you, lovely. And I'm always backing what you're doing. So I
Oh, I know
appreciate
that.
those kind
Thank you,
words.
Sherry.
You bet.
Sherry, thank you so much. You're such a jewel, not only for women in poker, but for poker in general. We appreciate you. Having you is great because this industry can sometimes be very difficult, and you are a true supporter of all of us. So don't ever for a minute think that all your work goes unacknowledged.
Thank you. I appreciate those kind words. For sure. Thank you so much. I just want to go over the little promo we're doing. Again, I won a main event seat through a Twitter retweet contest at from the Hard Rock Cincinnati. It's a $1,500 seat, and I'm going to give away 1% of any winnings. Um, Please be reminded that taxes will come off the top, and $500 for my expenses will come off the top before the 1% calculation is done. I'm going to do a drawing. I've taken two screenshots in this space, and I'll take two screenshots in the space I'll do at 7:30 Eastern time tonight. And whoever's in those screenshots will be entered into the drawing for that 1%. And three people will be chosen to split that 1%. If there's any fees, like if somebody lives overseas and there's, terrible fees to send the money, that's going to come off the winner's um, winnings. And of course, I will address that if and when that happens. So you guys know I'm not unreasonable when it comes to stuff like that. Also, I wanted to say there will be a $6,000 cap on what I'm willing to share with that 1%. So let's hopefully get to the point where I can send $6,000 to those three people for them to share. All decisions are final. Whatever decisions I make, they're final. They're not up for discussion. Well, maybe they are. Again, I'm not unreasonable, but you know, all decisions are final that I make. So just so that you guys know what's going on, I'll probably just wait to do the drawing tomorrow because I'm not feeling well, and by the time I do that 7:30 space, I'm sure I'll be spent. So anyway, I appreciate all of my listeners, and I'm doing this because I do appreciate you, and I never want you to forget that I appreciate that support, and you're always showing up, and we have so much fun in the spaces, and I hope that never ends. Because I think it's just good for all of us. So appreciate all of you. Again, we'll do a space at 7:30. It'll just be the March Madness challenge, and I need to give kudos to Avi. He has the first and second place bracket. He's tied for second place with a one. Their two brackets are tied for second, but he stands tall in the first place with his March Madness bracket. So kudos to Avi. And Avi, we're all coming after you, my friends. So don't get used to that first place spot. Anyway, I love and appreciate all of you. And I'll see you tonight at 7:30. Yvonne, again, thank you for um, gracing us with your presence and keeping us updated on what you're doing. because you're doing some great things on our behalf, and we appreciate you, my friend. Good night, everybody, or see you later, 7:30. Bye.